161, great to make the hook up there, Matt.
You're about.
Yeah, Matt, J. Juliet Alpha Yankee was my name for your further.
Hi, this is CBRadioMagazine.com, and today in front of us we've got the Stryker SR-955HP. This is new high-power single-sideband radio from Stryker. Stryker radios previously had produced AM/FM type export radios that were well known for having good, strong, loud AM modulation audio on the air. People really liked those, and so they had asked Stryker at some point to develop a single-sideband radio. Stryker spent a number of years in development, and this is the radio that they came out with. I think their goals for this radio were to produce a radio that would have that same loud, punchy audio on both AM and single sideband with good modulation and a lot of swing on AM. One of the big things was to get a radio that would have high frequency stability compared to a lot of the other export radios that had drift issues. So this is the new model that they came out with, the SR-955HP. And in our full written review that we should have up on the website shortly, we'll go through and give our review of the radio and what we think about it and how well it met some of those objectives. And for today, though, we're going to give you a full overview of the radio and show you all the features and functions. All right, out of the box, we've unpacked the radio. You can see inside the box you get the radio, microphone, mounting bracket, power cord, mounting hardware for your thumb screws and for the mounting bracket, and your manual. This radio is software programmable, so you can do some modifications to it using some software and your computer. But my particular radio did not come with the software cable or the software. So I thought maybe it was something that you'd have to buy separately. I did email Stryker and they said no, it was just a mistake with the first batch of radios. They sent me off a cable and the software information and got everything within a couple of days. So good customer service on that. And yes, the cable should be coming with the radios, so you can do the software programming option with them. So this is the inside of the 955 HP. There's another video online by another gentleman who's done a very good job showing off all the shielding and sections and everything, so it won't take a huge amount of time. Surface mount technology inside SMT. You'll see the shielding on important areas in the radio, shielding on the transistor section back here. Got some nice heavy-duty coil section back here. The adjustment points are labeled, and they're not super tiny like you see on a lot of radios that are using the SMT stuff, so nice to see larger pots, makes it a little bit easier. They are all labeled, so you got your high power adjustment, single sideband, FM, AM modulation, meter adjustments, things like that. So everything's easily labeled and adjustable, easy to see. And as we showed before, for conversion, you do have to remove a small resistor off of the board, which is very tiny, so a little difficult to do on that one. But yeah, very clean layout with the surface mount technology these days. You get your wire bundle coming off from the face, going to the board, and one or two other wires, and that's it. So it's, you know, so much cleaner than a lot of the older radios. Parts are smaller, less likely to get bumped around or broken, so the radios should be more durable, should last longer with less problems. Just a little bit hard to work on if you have smaller components that need to be replaced. You have to have a very fine tip soldering iron. And on this radio they did do the larger pots, which is nice to see, so it's a little bit easier for tuning. You don't have those tiny little pots. So that's the inside of the 955 HP. Okay, one of the first things I'll show you about this radio, we'll talk about the backlighting, the display, and the coloring. The radio does have lighting that shows through the face, around the bezel. All of the typeface is lit up. You have LCD screens here and over here that light up. The lighting is adjustable for a color. So there's a color button over here on the side. You can scroll through different colors. And there is even a loop option. The loop option will actually scroll through the colors on its own. You can set the delay, like every 5 seconds or every 10 seconds it'll change colors and do it automatically, kind of a Christmas tree effect, if that's your thing. Not necessarily mine, but definitely lots of options for coloring on the face. Nice thing about that is you can match it up to whatever the vehicle interior lighting is on your dash. So if you have blue lights in your vehicle, then you could set this to blue or green or whatever. So Nice that you can kind of coordinate it that way. You can pick whatever color you think is going to work best for you. The lighting, some of the initial people have seen the lighting on this thing and said, well, it's too bright, it, you know, super luminescent. Well, there's a dimming option on this, and you can actually dim it all the way off if you want. You can have it on a scale of 1 all the way up to a scale of 31. So you can see at 31 the radio is quite bright. I'll actually turn off the lights to show you the effect here. And some people have said this is a little bit too much bling bling for them in their vehicle to have it this bright. And once again, you know, you can adjust the dimming level and set it at something suitable for whatever you're doing. So if you wanted it at level 1, you could set it there. Or if you want to crank it up, you can go bright. So that's the dimming option and the coloring. And as you can see, it's nice all the stuff lights up here on the display. You can see all the type real easily. Nice thing about this radio and the lighting, it's consistent. The color is the same all the way across the face of the radio. Some radios we've seen, you know, the actual channel display was a different color than the backlighting, or the frequency display was a different color than the backlighting, or the meter, or whatever. So it's nice to see a radio that has the consistent lighting all the way through it. It's very bright, so during the day it'll light up enough, and at night when you're driving you can dim it if you want, so it's not too obnoxious. Starting on the left side of the radio, I'm going through the features here. You see there's a function button that will take you into your function menu, and we will go through that in detail showing the different features. There's a scan button. Pressing this, it will scan through the band that you're in, so it'll scan through all the different channels, and you have your squelch turned up, and if a signal breaks the squelch, it will stop on that frequency. There's your color changing button, of course, the one that we use to go through and cycle through all the colors. Now, the meter is something new looking. It's a digital type meter. It has your signal strength coming in here, shows your power output level here, 10 watts, 20 watts, 40 watts, 60, 80, 100, and it shows your SWR here. So you don't have to calibrate for SWR. It has an auto calibrating feature, and it will show your SWR as you have your power output. So that's a nice feature. You can actually see what your power is and what your SWR is simultaneously. Down here there's an option. You can show the name of the radio, you can show the voltage that the radio is at, or you can have it rotate back and forth between the voltage and the radio name. So it's nice that this radio will show you what your voltage is to make sure that your radio is getting enough voltage and it's in the normal range. It'll show your SWR, your power output, and your signal strength, and it's all visible on one meter. Okay, moving over just a little bit. Up here, we've got your variable power and your talkback. The MON stands for monitor. That's on the inside. You can turn your talkback off completely, or if you want talkback, you can turn it on, and it's totally variable. I found the level to be quite nice, so nice variable adjustment for talkback. Power control is on the outside. Variable power works in all modes. You can adjust your output all the way down to 1.5 watt or so on AM, up to about a 15 watt dead key on AM. Your mode switch is here, PA, FM, AM, upper sideband and lower sideband mode control switch. 4-pin microphone connection. You can connect a standard microphone that comes with it, which actually performed the best in our testing compared to a couple different noise canceling mics and power mics and desk mics. The stock microphone matched up very, very well with the radio. 4-pin microphone though, so you can easily test out any of your 4-pin microphones that you have from other radios or whatever. We have a band VFO switch. In the band position, this allows you to go through and select which band or banks of frequencies that you're going to be in. In the middle position is after you've selected your band, you move it to the middle position, and then you can operate normally within that band. Or there is a continuous tuning VFO mode on the right hand side here, which you can switch into, and we'll demonstrate these in a minute. This is your volume squelch control. Just like a standard radio, you can turn it off with the volume, turn it on, variable volume control. Squelch is on the outside. The radio, when you do turn it on, there is about a 2-second delay, so just be prepared when you turn it on for the first time. That 2-second delay is normal. We'll go back up here. Here is a dimming switch. So in the middle position, the switch doesn't do anything. If you move it to the left side, you can select the dimming level. It'll actually show up over here, dim, and then you can use the channel selector to select the level for the dimming. This is a high cut, this HIC over here. If you move it into this position, it creates the high cut to get rid of some of that high-end hiss. Here we have your microphone gain and RF gain control. Microphone gain is on the inside, RF gain control is on the outside. This radio has a very sensitive receiver. I actually found when I run this radio, I actually turned back the RF gain just a little bit until it gets some of the hiss out of the way, because it's almost too sensitive, a little bit oversensitive on the receive. So you will be using the RF gain a bit, I think. You'll want to tune it back just a little bit. You can still hear the voices and your signals come in real well, but it does cut back on some of the hiss. Up above here we have an A&L and noise blank option. In between, neither of them are on. On the right side, the noise blank is on. If you turn on the A&L, it also turns on the noise blank together. Some people had questioned whether this can do the A&L and noise blank at the same time. If you have it in this selection at A&L, it is doing both, or you can do just the noise blank on the right side. Over here on the right side of the radio, you'll see a switch here for Roger beep and program. When the switch is in the middle position, it's not doing anything. When it's in the Roger beep position, you can turn on your Roger beep. When you have it in the program position, it allows you to program the radio in two different ways. You can add or delete frequencies to be scanned. So if you have it set up for 11 meters and you have 40 channels and you want to scan, all the channels except for 17, 19, 22, whatever, you can actually set it up to bypass those frequencies, and you can add or delete using the program function. You set it to the program mode, and I'll show you all how to do all that in a minute. In the program mode, you can also change the Roger beep between up to 5 different Roger beep tones, and I will show you how to do that as well. Just below this is the echo controls, volume and delay. Volume's on the inside, which is the amount of echo, and the delay is on the outside. Over here, this is your delay, so the amount of delay on the echo. You can create a lot of different types of echo tones by varying the delay and the volume. You can make it sound different. The echo is not on or off through this switch. Most of you are used to turning on the echo with the inside control for the volume for it. The echo is actually controlled through a switch up here. And it's kind of a neat feature for that, and I'll explain why. Most radios, when the on-off for the echo is through here, say you're operating on AM and you want to turn on your echo, you turn on the switch, you set the echo where you want it for the volume and the delay. You're talking on AM, then you want to go to single sideband, and you don't want to talk with an echo on single sideband because a lot of people don't like that. So you have to turn off your echo, and now you've lost your positioning. With this radio, you can set your echo wherever you want it, and you can turn it on or off using this switch over here, and that way you never have to touch your adjustments. So a lot of guys who do like echo are really picky about it. They like to set it exactly where they want it, and they get pissed off that they have to keep messing with it when they switch back and forth. You set it where you want it, then you can just turn the echo on or off with the switch. Some of you guys hate echo, you don't like them, whatever, that's fine. But for those guys who do like echo, you will appreciate that you can turn it on and off here without messing with your adjustment settings. Once again, the switch over here, so this one, it's in the middle position, it's not doing anything. If you move it to the right, it's the echo position. The TSQ position isn't actually used for the radio normally. It's a switch to activate an optional CTCSS module, which is not in the radio. That's something optional. It's not included with this, so it's probably something most of you will not be using, but that's what that TSQ would do. Just below here, we've got our fine and coarse clarifiers. These are going to work a little bit different than you're used to on a lot of exports. The fine clarifier is on the inside, coarse clarifier is on the outside. The fine clarifier can be set up to only adjust receive, transmit, or receive and transmit. So you can set it up, that option, to do it in those different types of modes. The coarse clarifier is on the outside, and it is going to adjust your frequency, your receive and transmit frequency. The interesting thing about this radio is in the menu you can adjust how the tuning stages of the fine clarifier work, and you can adjust the tuning stages of the coarse clarifier. We'll show you all of that when we get into the menu functions, but it's neat to be able to adjust how these work and what the increments of tuning that they're going to be adjusting. Up here is our frequency display. It'll show TX for transmit, RX here. It'll show the clarifier mode for the fine clarifier here. You can see that right now it's in receive mode, and once again, if you change this to do receive and transmit, it will show you here that it's tracking on both. Shows you your channel option here, and it also shows you your frequency. Over here is your channel selector. The radio does have the band option and the VFO option, so let's go into that first. So let's discuss the band VFO switch and how this works. This radio is a bit different. You know, a lot of exports have the switch up here to flip between the bands. This one does it through the switch and the menu operation. So we flip it into the band mode here. You'll see the band is displayed on the meter readout over here. And we're in band 4, which is going to be our 11 meter mode in the expanded frequency operation of this radio. You do have to do a modification to get it out of the 10 meter mode. These are again export radios. They're sold as 10 meter radios. We have to modify them for the extended frequencies and to cover 11 meters. So as we flip the channel selector, you'll see it shows band 3, band 2, band 1, band 10, 9, 8, 7, etc. So you'll see like we're up in the 10 meter range now, and once again band 4 is the 11 meter range. That's how you change the band. Now your channel selector right now is changing the band. When we flip it back into this middle position, now we're in that band and it acts like a normal channel operation. Now the other option for this radio is to operate it as a VFO, and when we go into this mode, it can tune continuous tuning all the way from the lowest frequency to the highest frequency that it'll operate. This radio will operate, or at least its range will be 30.1050 megahertz all the way down to 24 megahertz. So that's the expanded frequency operation mode, and as you can see, it's just continuous tuning. You can adjust the increments, and we'll show you how to do that. And that's how the band VFO options work. And if we flip back to the middle position here, it does take us back into the band operation. To modify the Stryker 955HP for extended frequency operation, you do have to remove a part from the radio, a small resistor. It's a surface mount technology part, so very, very small. Means you need a very fine tip soldering iron, and it is a little bit difficult to do. This is not an easy modification per se, like some of the other export radios. To remove the resistor, you're going to find U502 here in this area, and you'll see over here there's two small resistors. You're going to be removing the one that's closer to the front of the radio. Up here's the front of the radio. So you'll be removing this resistor right here. We'll unsolder it and show you afterwards what it looks like. So we did unsolder the resistor that was right here. That spot is now empty, and let me show you the resistor. Okay, for those of you who aren't familiar with surface mount technology parts, this is one of the case screws that holds the cover on the radio, just for size reference. This is the resistor we just removed. So you get an idea how fine tip your soldering iron needs to be, and how small these parts are on the radio. So that is what we just removed from the radio that's going to open it up for extended frequency operation. I would not attempt to do this type of stuff unless you have the right equipment and you feel confident in your skills. Before we dive into the function menu, let's show you the programming switch over here for the Roger beep and the scan. If we flip this into the program mode, you'll see over here the first option that comes up with is a scan option, and we flip the channel selector's second option is a Roger beep option. So let's go to the scan option, and what this allows you to do is when you press the function button, it says scan add, scan delete. So if we're on a certain frequency, we can say delete this frequency from scanning or add this frequency. Basically, all of them are going to be initially add, so you just would move it to delete, and then the frequency you're on would no longer be scanned. So we'll move out of programming mode. If we hit the scan option, we turn up our squelch here, you'll see as it's scanning, it skips over 38, which we put as a delete option. So once again, this is the programming option to set it up so you can omit certain frequencies from being scanned as you go through. And if you watch here, 37, 39, it skips it. So we can hit scan again, it'll stop our scan. If we go back into program mode, oops, sorry, we gotta go back onto the frequency that we're on, and we say, oh, function, we want this one added. Oops, go back the other way. There, and now it will scan channel 38 again. So that's how that programming works for the scan function. Now for the Roger beep, if you go program, we're in the scan function here, we go up, flip it to Roger beep. If we press the function option, it takes us in, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different Roger beep options to choose from. And we will go through and show those to you on the air so you can hear them. They do little da-da-da-da-da-das, you know, that kind of thing. Bunch of different ones. That's how the Roger beep, you can adjust it between those 5 different Roger beeps. Alright, let's jump into the function menu. If you hold in the function menu for the function button for 3 seconds, it jumps you into the function menu. First thing is you can adjust the fine clarifier range. You can have it adjust 0.5 kilohertz, 1.5 kilohertz, or up to 2.5 kilohertz on the range. The next option is receive, transmit, or receive and transmit. This is for your fine clarifier. You can have your fine clarifier adjust only the receive frequency, only the transmit frequency, or it can adjust your receive and transmit tied together, and it will display up here the mode that it's operating in, as you can see up here under clarifier. So like when you unlock a clarifier on a radio for the receive and transmit to move together, that's what that would be. Okay, course clarifier, you can adjust the range and increments, so you can have it do 100 hertz, 1 kilohertz, 5 kilohertz, or 10 kilohertz. So let me show you an option of what this would look like. In the 5 kilohertz option, when we adjust the course clarifier, you'll see it drops down, and it has a maximum range of 10 kilohertz up or down. And you'll see over here it will show how far off center that you're moving. So that's a neat feature. You can adjust that. Up to 10 kilohertz, once again, difference. Okay, so we hold in the function button, go back into the menu. Automatic squelch control. This is on AM. If you set this up on AM, automatic squelch control, on AM, it'll automatically squelch and will only unsquelch when a signal breaks it. So that's the automatic squelch control if you don't want to do the manual squelch. Next up is the beep. When you have it on, anytime you touch anything, it beeps for any of the switches or other things. So that's the beep on or off. Most people want that off. Timeout timer, transmitter timeout timer. This is for if you happen to be driving along and you sit on your microphone or something, you don't want to be transmitting for an hour or something and burn up the finals in your radio, or if you know your microphone gets wedged between the seats or something. You can turn it off, or you can set the number of seconds before it times out. You don't want to set it to 30 seconds if you're a long talker, because it'll automatically stop transmitting after 30 seconds. So pick a reasonable amount of time that you don't want your radio to be transmitting for. You can set it up to 600 seconds. Next up, this is a squelch menu option. So when you have the squelch on and you're in scan mode, this is 2 options for that. The first option is a SQ option. This means when you're scanning, the scan would stop when a valid signal is detected, and the scan would resume after the signal disappears for 5 seconds. In the TI mode, a scan would stop when a valid signal is detected. The radio would resume scanning 5 seconds later, whether the signal disappears or not. So it just automatically will continue scanning after the signal is detected no matter what. The other one only starts scanning again once the signal disappears. Next up is something that goes along with that. This is the scan resume time. You can set this for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, or 15 seconds. Once again, when I was saying if the radio resumes scanning 5 seconds after a signal disappears, you can set it to do it 10 seconds, or it can wait 15 seconds before it starts scanning again. TSR, this is our SWR, transmitting SWR protection function. You can have it on or off. You can actually set the level in the software, I believe. I haven't jumped into the software yet, but on my other radios that had this option, you can set the SWR, saying if it goes over a 5 or something, then turn it off and don't transmit. You could have it as low as a 2, but you can set it up how you want it on there. This is something you probably just want to leave on. It helps protect the radio. Same thing with the voltage. This is a voltage, transmit voltage indicator. If your voltage goes too high or too low, it'll stop transmitting to protect the radio, and that's what that does. You'd leave that on probably as well. LCD, this is so you can show the name Stryker here. You can show the voltage here all the time, or you can show the name and the voltage rotating back and forth like we had it in part of the video. This is the option here for the number of seconds of delay on the rotating colors. So if you're someone that likes the colors to rotate through the radio, kind of the Christmas tree thing, you can set it up to a 10-second delay between colors. So it'll be red for 10 seconds, green for 10 seconds, blue for 10 seconds. So now we're back to the fine clarifier adjustment. One thing I will show you, if we go into VFO mode and then we go into the menu, there's one adjustment that doesn't show up in the normal menu if you're in the band option, and that is your channel selector step option. So you can tune in different steps for VFO option. So obviously you don't want to be tuning through a VFO with everything in a very small increment. So you can set it up to do it in 1 megahertz, 1 kilohertz, etc. So that's an option here. So for instance, we can do it in 10 kilohertz steps. Let this set, and now we're back out, and as you can see, there's our tuning option for that. So that's a nice thing about the function menu. Once again, that option only comes up when you're in the VFO mode. So that's pretty much it for the function menu, and there are some options we'll show you once we get into the software and do that video, but that pretty much shows the function menu that you'll be using day to day in the radio. Okay, so Roger beep. I know you guys wanted to hear these Roger beeps. Some people asked me. So we will go to program, go to Roger beep. We'll set it on Roger beep 1. And we will go and turn the Roger beep on. And I'll be real quiet and we'll see if we can list it on my monitor radio here. Okay, that's number 1. We'll go to program, Roger beep number 2, go back to Roger beep, Roger beep number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. And those are your 5 Roger beeps. Once again, using the program option to go in, select which one you want, and then selecting Roger beep to go in and pick the one and then turning it on. So echo. We can turn on our monitor here and show you the echo. So echo, volume on the inside, delay on the outside control. And we want to enable the echo, just flip the switch. Now the echo is on. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And we'll get you a little closer here so you can hear the echo. So we'll put the volume over here. Alright, and actually I'll turn that back up. So 9 o'clock position, 1, 2, 3. 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 1, 2, 3. 12 o'clock position. 1, 2, 3. And once again, when you turn down the volume, it gives a little bit different echo sound. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3. That's the 3 o'clock position on the delay. 3 o'clock on the volume. And we've got maximum echo, and this is with maximum volume. 1, 2, 3. So I figured I'd show that. Everyone always asks me, why didn't you show the echo in your video? So there's the echo, guys. You know, obviously there's settings variable anywhere in between. And once again, we were able to monitor that using the talkback function there. So let me show you the back of the radio, and we'll wrap this up. Alright, big heat sink on this sucker. Good size, gets a little warmed in operation with the radio peaked a bit. And, you know, a little bit hot to the touch, but nothing awful. So big heat sink, good to heat dissipation. Down here, standard 3-pin jack. Use the standard power cord. A little bit thicker, you know, than a regular one. You have to make sure that you use the power cord. I wouldn't swap it out with anything smaller because the amperage might blow your fuses. So make sure you use the one that comes with the radio. Antenna connector, CW key, external speaker option here, and your data USB port connection. So you can connect your USB cable that'll go to your computer, and that's what you'll hook up when you do your software. And I will show the stock microphone real quick. This is the stock microphone that came with it. I suspect it was supposed to say Stryker or something here. Mine did not say anything, or the emblem did not glue and fell off or something, but that's what my stock microphone looks like. And just a very basic, light, cheap microphone. But it matches up really well with the radio. I tried out a Turner desk mic, SR-955HP stock mic, a power mic, and a couple other mics, and this mic, everybody said, sounded the best. So whoever did the testing on it figured out that this El Cheapo lightweight microphone, stock microphone, works well with the Stryker radio. Good loud audio, sounded the cleanest and clearest with the stock microphone in my tests. So you may run into something different, of course, on your own, but just showing you what it came with. Alright, so we'll wrap up the overview. Once again, this is the Stryker SR-955HP brand new single sideband radio from Stryker. I apologize for the long review. I wanted to just bust it all out in one video rather than doing multiple videos. So if you sat through all of this and made it to the end, congratulations, there you go. The radio itself, been testing it out so far. I'm not doing a review right now. This is just an overview, but I can say on single sideband, been very stable so far. So they definitely have met that qualification that they were trying to do, and audio reports have been excellent. Very good, clear, clean, punchy audio on single sideband. So performance-wise, I'm pretty happy with what I've seen so far. Output's been very good. With the tune, you're looking upwards 70 to 80 watts. I've heard some higher numbers than that, but I think 70 to 80 is probably what you be experiencing, and without pushing it too hard. The overall radio has been operational fine. I haven't found any bugs or anything, but I will be doing my full written review, discussing things I like and dislike about the radio, and you know, getting into it more and showing all the pictures and everything. So the written review will be up on the website, cbradiomagazine.com, and we will be posting a video showing the software as well, and some on-air audio checks we've done as well, just to let people know what it sounds like on the air. Once again, Stryker SR-955HP. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll try and get that written review tied up and up on the website, cbradiomagazine.com.